Hey everybody, this is Frodan with Esports GG, back with another interview with Slysssa from Team Liquid, fresh off her victory at the HEARTHSTONE Battlegrounds Brawl, Battle of the Boars. Slysssa, let's jump right into it. I've been saying it for a long time. You're the most accomplished Battlegrounds tournament player in the West. What's the secret? What's the key to your success? How do you keep doing this and winning all these tournaments?
Well, I think I'm a really good team player. I very much understand when I need to let my teammate power spike, when I need to power spike, how to reposition my board to do the least amount of damage, how to kind of abuse the system, I guess. Like, I feel like I've studied it a lot now that I've done it so many times. And I think that's part of my success. And also just being a really good communicator and forcing my teammates to be good communicators. If I will get the answer I need and I will tell them what I think. And I do think that sometimes in gaming, especially an individual game like Hearthstone, some people are in their shell and just playing a solo game. And I'm not going to do that in a team tournament. So I'm going to make sure they understand the team aspect of it and be the communicator if I need to be it.
Yeah, it's true. I think a lot of people go into it just thinking about their own individual results. Can you give me an example? Was there like a highlight moment that stood out in this past tournament or in a previous tournament where that communication was like the deciding factor in a game or series?
Yeah, I mean, there's some like very common situations is just leveling up together so that you can get to a power spike. So for example, Collins and I faced each other on turn 3 and we were able to level up and have nothing on the board and get to these tier 3 minions faster. But like something more specific was when I was facing Sjow and I was in 5th and he was in 1st and was top 5 and only top 4 gets points. And looking at each other's boards, it was like, you know what, we think you're gonna win it. Let's reposition you to try and deal the least amount of damage to me, but we're going to probably expect that I die here. But knowing that your board is more on par to win it all, let's do it this way. We ended up me surviving with 1 health.
Wow,
and
that's incredible.
I ended up taking 1st and he took 2nd. So
yeah, I remember.
I was wrong. I was better. We were wrong. But because of that, because we were able to realize, like, you know what, you're going to probably make it. But we'll both kind of put our best foot forward and reposition in a way to try to help me advance and try to get me to that next step. So like little communication things like that, where I think some people would be selfish and be like, no, I'm taking 1st, so I'm just going to take you out here.
Maybe Crip was accused of that a few times yesterday as well.
Maybe. I might have seen a few teammates pummeling each other, and I was like, what are they doing?
Yeah. There's a lot of blood gems. Like, I have 6 blood gems. I'm going to play 5 of them, but I'll save the 6th one because I'm your teammate. It's like, wow, thanks.
Oh my gosh, that would hurt my soul. What happened in the last game was Collins had a technical issue, and he couldn't get his mic to work or his sound to work. And he didn't realize, he was trying to figure it all out, but the game started, so he like picked a minion, played it. He didn't realize he was facing me. And I'm screaming into the mic, don't play a minion, don't play a minion, don't play a minion. He played it, I took damage. And then the next turn I face Nicolina, she's Rafam, so I just don't play the minion that I didn't play. And I didn't give her a minion.
That's great.
Because I was like, I'll just take a little extra damage because whatever, I'm just going to hurt Rafam this way. Just try to, I don't know, hurt other players so that they don't get points. And but then I ended up getting 5th because I took like 1 extra damage for lethal or something like that. And I was like, oh, like those little communication errors can really hurt you. But you know, it happens with tech issues.
Totally, and I'm sure that that's something that at least, you know, you were still able to get the win, so nothing really affected.
Yeah, it wasn't that big of a deal. You know, I was lower on the points. I wasn't like top 3 in points this time, which was the only thing, but it's okay. I won't hold it against anyone.
You know, let's talk a little bit about the fact that all Battlegrounds tournaments seem to be like team tournaments. You know, why do you think that is? Do you think like singles is something that you prefer more now because you've had so many times playing team tournaments, or do you still like the idea of team tournaments moving forward?
Oh, I prefer team tournaments. I really think they're fun. I think it's nice to see your favorite gamer interact with someone, like see them more in a natural setting and working together. Um, and I just think it's more interesting, I guess, to see the different types of complexities that can happen when you do it. Um, Now, there are different ways you can do team tournaments. Like in this one, we got to talk and we got to see each other's boards. But like in the China Gold series, where I'm on a team, I don't get to talk to my teammate. And I don't get to see his board. And that's a lot more challenging. So there's different ways you can do team tournaments to make it more interesting and fun. But I do prefer team tournaments.
Got it. So let's talk a little bit more about, tournaments in general and Battlegrounds. I see you advocating all the time for Blizzard to do more Battlegrounds tournaments. You're playing in a team tournament yourself. That's an ongoing series. Can you talk a little bit about what you think is the proper structure of what Battlegrounds competitive ecosystem would look like? Because it could be a ton of different things.
Yeah, there definitely could be like in my mind, I so I see now how GM is not doing as great as they wanted it to be. They wanted it to be kind of like this like streamer. It wasn't like a streamer league, but kind of was, right? There's so many prominent streamers that they could do something with, but there's also so many smaller streamers or just players who are really high on the ladder who just need some exposure, and that could really make it big. So I think there's something interesting you could do. Something I've come up with in my head is where I invite invite 8 players or like 4 teams, and they play. The first place team gets a prize pool for that week. The last place team leaves and has to get to the end of the list, and then a new team comes in. Every week do that, and then I would do qualifiers on the side to bring those people into the list. That's something I've wanted to do, and I think that would be kind of cool. That way you still see like 6 people you're familiar with every week and then 2 new people in, and then they can keep rotating in once they lose.
Got it. So like a weekly rotation. That's certainly interesting, and I'm sure this is not necessarily a competitive format podcast. We're not necessarily here to cover that, but I like that idea in general, and I think people will just want to see fresh faces in general because there's some examples of that, right? I think even in this tournament, there's players who are making a name for themselves because of how good they were, and then the community ended up embracing them. I'm thinking about Sun Bacon Relaxer, used to be known as Victor at 12 wins. I think he was like one of them, right?
Yeah, I mean, someone like this last tournament, Nina. Nina is noob. She's an amazing player. I'm pretty sure double server leaderboard player and a streamer. And people don't know about her yet because a lot of people don't search for new streamers. They just go to the same people and they don't realize what they're missing out on. So I'm glad things like this could get attention to those streamers.
Totally. The viewership was really good. I think a lot of people are really excited about the new content. I wanted to ask you about your opinion on the state of Battlegrounds. Do you feel like overall, from the big picture, people were talking about if it's getting a little bit stale in terms of the play patterns? Is there any design decisions that you feel strongly about, whether it's in favor or against certain decisions?
Change is good. So switching it up every few weeks is really nice, and then doing big changes every month. And I do understand that there are tons of casual people where if you change it too much, the casuals are going to leave, and then your viewer base is going to leave, and it's not healthy for the game to do too many changes. So I do like kind of the concept they were going with like one big change a month or like every 6 weeks and one minor change every 3 weeks. But the issue that we've had is that they'll do a massive change like prizes. And then what happens was when they took that away and didn't give us anything new, it was like they regressed 6 months to a year of game process. And we were like, wait, we just went back so far and we've come so far and made the game so exciting, and you just took it all away. So I think it's important that if they're going to do big updates, they can't just take away the update, they have to replace it. So I think that was one of their biggest issues. And also just when things get a little bit too strong and powerful, that can create some bad times. Like there's a certain hero named Maiev who's just just if you got her in the tournament, you just won. Like I had a game where I got second with her, and I was dying, and I'm glad I pulled off that second. But I saw one guy get Maiev 3 times in a row, and get first. No, not my. Who did one of my teammates get Maiev 3 times?
I thought Chou got Maiev like repeatedly.
Oh, he might have. I'm thinking of Crip.
Oh yeah. Crip got it 3 times and like got first for a second or something like that.
Yeah, I was like, Maiev seems strong. But like Omu is very strong too. Right now we're in a power level hero playstyle, and so if you whiff on those characters, because there's only a select few of them, if you whiff, you're just like, oh no, like I'm screwed. So I do think heroes are super impactful right now, and maybe slightly too impactful.
Okay, yeah, that's certainly a valid criticism. And I think that like they're definitely addressing that kind of stuff over time, and I'm sure we'll be much better at designing Battlegrounds a year from now and 2 years from now. So hopefully that continues in the future. Let's talk a little bit about Team Liquid. You know, it's the new thing in your life that's, you know, of course, outside of Hearthstone itself. You know, so congratulations on joining it. But before we talk a little bit about what it's like joining TL and their life there, I want to ask about your old organization, Fade to Karma, F2K. You had a lot of your Hearthstone friends there, like Ali, Nicolina, your teammate Collins. Was the reason to leave because Team Liquid approached you about it, or was there something else?
I think when I first started streaming, I really saw myself as this content creator, and I treat my stream like a business. And so I looked from an outside perspective, like what is my stream? It is very much based on content that's more positive light. And I saw myself on Fade to Karma at that time because that's really what they exude. They exude inclusivity and very much focused on content, and really strayed away from the esports side, which was kind of what I was at the beginning. I didn't get the esports bug until my first dream hack that I went to for fun. I didn't think I'd do well. I did decent. I did way better than I expected, which gave me more confidence. And then I started trying harder and harder and saw myself more in that competitive light. And Fade to Karma just doesn't have the same opportunity in that aspect. So like, Team Liquid competes in Gold Series in China, and so does our G2 did for a tournament last year as well. But Fade to Karma wasn't approached because they are more content creator, or you know, they're more on the content creation side. So I did see that as an issue. I wanted an org that would be both, that promotes the content side and the esports side, and that had more of a all gaming aspect. Like I think F2K is very much more niche to cards. Anyone in the card section would know the name, but if you were outside of cards and in like Call of Duty or something, I said, "Oh, I'm on Fade to Karma," they probably wouldn't know who I was or what the team was. But if you're like, "I'm on Team Liquid," that's like instant credibility right there, and they have so much to offer from behind the scenes to help me out as a streamer and as a competitor. So they're just a really good org to be a part of.
Yeah, plus, you know, free gaming chair and stuff, I guess.
Oh yeah, I got this chair. I have this new cute mat. I have a keyboard. I have a monitor. Like,
that's right.
I have at least 9 jerseys at this point. They just keep sending me jerseys.
That's cool. I get
and
the
then
same
I forgot
thing.
to wear it yesterday.
That's right. I was like, why aren't you wearing your team? I didn't want to point that out because I didn't want to make it
I forgot.
seem like a thing. That's okay. That's okay. This interview,
today.
You got it on point for the interview that people can watch as well. So what's life been like on the organization for Team Liquid? Like, how's life so far with it?
It's great. They've just been so kind. They're always trying to help me out anyway. They're working with me now on some merch that is kind of like a it's going to be like a reward for people who watch in my stream and interact with my content, because they do something called Liquid Plus points, where people earn points by watching streams and interacting with your social media accounts, and then they can get rewards. So we're working on rewards that my viewers can get that are really oriented towards me, and I think they're really going to like them. So it's stuff like that that's just super helpful. And I've also really enjoyed my teammates. I've been working every day with WTY Bill for China Gold Series. We practiced 2 hours at least a day.
Wow.
And we do play review where we go over each of our games, and then we also play together and talk about our strategies. So we practice every day, and that's been really awesome.
Love to hear the amount of hard work you're putting in. It's clearly paying off whenever you enter tournaments.